Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Lawler here, as always. I know it is bright and early. We've got the major going down today, but before we do that, we got to have a word from today's sponsor. Today's video sponsor is PrizePicks, the best place to earn cash while watching your favorite sports, or esports in my case. As you guys know, I'm a huge Green Bay Packers fan, and I've been using this app for quite a while, but I've also been really much so enjoying doing this with my chat on streams. While before the matches start on Fridays, we pick a roster. If you guys are unfamiliar, what you can do is you go and see what the matchups are. You kind of find your favorite players that you think are going to have the best advantage. And the way that it goes is I say, okay, I think Energy is going to do really well this weekend. I look at their players and I see what stat is associated to them. Is it goals? Is it assists? Is it save? And do I think they're going to average more or less than that? Based upon how big my lineup is determines on what the payout is, and I have the ability to actually try if I want to go all or nothing, if I only want to get a majority of them right. There is a bunch of different options and a bunch of different ways you can play. If you sign up using code Lawler, you can put in a $5 deposit and they will give you a $50 credit whether you win or lose or not. If you'd like additional details, information can be found in the description below with a link to everything I'm talking about. With that said, let's get back to the video. As you guys can tell, we've got our predictions up for the major, and again, I have to make this blanket statement every single time. I have no weight in who wins or who doesn't. It doesn't matter to me. If I don't pick your favorite team, it's nothing personal. It's purely for entertainment. Number two, I know these are all going to be wrong. It is almost impossible, and I say almost, but I think it is legitimately impossible to predict things correctly when you're doing it all in one go, which is what I am doing. I am saying here from start, before we see any of the teams play, before we see any of the matches, this is what I think could happen. But I also am very aware that anything that goes to 5 could go the other way. Upsets happen like crazy, and it is tough to really pick when you don't see how these guys play from match to match. If you would like to see more accurate predictions, come to twitch.tv/Lawler. We will be predicting game by game with chat. We'll have channel predictions and stuff going on. Mertzy may join us. Speed may join us. Some special guests. We're going to be bantering, having fun. We'll be playing video games in between the breaks to keep you guys all entertained. There will be plenty of banter. But stop by the stream. Makes it really, really easy. With that in mind, we're going to go through these. I'm going to talk some theories, some ideas. If you guys didn't watch the tier list, some of this will be similar. A lot of it's actually going to be different. But first things first. Scarily enough, I have all of the high seeds winning in the first round. I think there is something to be said about the current state of Rocket League, where we are starting to see a trend where the teams that are objectively better are the ones winning. I think that is something that is becoming nice about Rocket League, is there is a bit of predictability in the high level teams. That being said, I do see certain teams going the distance where the opposite could happen. At the end of the day, it is going to be different from what people are used to, because Swiss is not being all played on one day. It is being split across 2 days. So there is times to reassess, adjust, prep for certain matches based upon the schedule. So we will have to see how that's going to go. I will tell you guys, half of these are going to be on the B stream, half of these going to be on the A stream. We'll be watching both simultaneously on the stream. We'll be able to watch everything. We'll try to do these on a game-to-game basis. With that in mind, I think your clear favorites, K-Corp over Wildcard, should happen. I have never seen an EU team at the top struggle against a OCE team, except for BDS that one time against Pioneers, which is pretty hee-hee-ha-ha. They made a roster change and then went one Worlds, so it is what it is. Energy over Gen G. I think Energy in particular doesn't struggle against some of the lower teams in their areas. Falcons over Secret. I think Falcons is a top 4 seed, as you guys know. I think Vitality and Twisted is the highlight match to watch. I'm very excited about this series. I think it could go both ways. I also think it sets a precedent of what to expect out of both teams. I think Twisted Minds is looking to play an upset, but I would like to believe in the Vitality narrative that I've been talking about, where I think a team that plays a positional playstyle is going to look better on LAN. I also think when I look at just the pure head-to-head, I think all 3 players on Vitality are better than their counterparts and their roles on Twisted. I think there's a couple weak links on Twisted, while Vitality, as long as they play their game, they should be fine. Furia, I do think as a team has been pretty dang dominant, and if Chiefs is struggling against other OCE teams, Furia should win I do think if Chiefs preps for this one accordingly, they could come up with a plan to beat Furia because you kind of know what you're getting out of Furia. But can you match their pace and their playstyle? OC has shown that they can play quick and aggressive, but can they do it out of the gate? Because if you get behind, it's really, really tough. Dig Complexity, I do think Dig is just the better team over Complexity. I think Complexity could steal this away, if I'm being honest, because I think Complexity comes in with a pretty stable thing. But there's something to be said about Jack and Joria's in Swiss. Usually they look pretty dang good. Ultimates over Luminosity, and then GK over Foot. No surprises there. Going into the next round, we then have K-Corp over GK. I think K-Corp wants a little bit of revenge after the loss they suffered in Open 3 in that Grand Finals, and I think they will get it here. As for Energy and Ultimates, coin toss. I don't know what we're getting out of Energy. I don't know what we're getting out of Ultimates. I would like to believe in the team that has historically been the best in North America. 3 best players should be winning. There's something to be said about Daniel and Beast Mode on LAN. Beast Mode is a different breed on LAN. I hope we get more of that. Falcons over Dig. I think Falcons is a team that just plays very, very solid in Swiss. And I think Dignitas has had their ups and downs. And then Vitality Furia. Same thing with Vitality. I think Vitality has a potential to play Hiccup here. But I think they can match the pace of Furia. I think Furia is going to be aggressive. I think they're going to come out swinging. But I think Vitality has the tools to be able to handle it and kind of systematically tear them apart. With that being said, I would not be surprised if it goes the other way. And then on the low side, I do have Wildcard playing a close game against Foot. Everybody who forgets, as much as everybody hates the Mobula situation, objectively, the last time they played in London on LAN, a lot of 1-goal games, a lot of close series, a lot of overtimes. They did put up a fight. I would like to believe Wildcard can win it, but I would not be surprised if an upset happens with this one and they do get their first win. On the other side, Genji over Luminosity. I do think Luminosity with Sosa and the guys has potential for upset, but I would like to believe in the aggressive, in-your-face, demo-heavy playstyle with Genji. And then Complexity Team Secret, I think could go either way. I think to me, that one is a complete coin toss. I want to believe in Secret. I do think they're an underdog team. But at the same time, Complexity, I think, has proven that they are a better team in a tougher region in the grand scheme of things. Secret's been competitive against Furia. Will that also translate to the other South American import team? I don't know. I'm excited to find out. Usually they play a pretty close game. We've seen Secret play closely against a lot of teams and make it all the way to quarterfinals in previous history. I want to believe in them, but I'm going to choose to go Complexity on this one. And then Twisted Minds versus Chiefs. I do think Twisted Minds is a better team. No difficulty there. Into the middle rounds. We've got K-Corp versus Falcons. To me, that's a coin toss. I don't know what I'm going to get. I would not be surprised if Falcons wins that and ends up becoming a top 4. Same thing with K-Corp, though. It's tough for me to vote against K-Corp because they've been playing in the most complicated and most difficult region. They've made every grand final. And until they give me a reason to show that they are faltering or the things are going, there's 2 big narrative points I've talked about with both K-Corp and Vitality. With K-Corp, a lot of off-ball play, a lot of mechanical requirements. A Tau usually has to pull something out of nowhere. On land, those things are less likely to happen, so I could see them faltering. But until they give me a reason to, it's tough for me to go against them. I think their strength of schedule is pretty favorable outside of the Falcons. On the other side, Vitality and Energy. I have seen Energy kind of go up and down, and I think against a team like Vitality and historically against EU teams, that tends to not go in their favor. I've also talked about, again, Vitality, systematic, recreatable, very clean, momentum-based, positioning-heavy playstyle. When you say the words, hey, it's Monkey Moon and Zen on the same team, and you're pairing that with a world champion MVP, I would like to believe that team's going to do pretty darn good on LAN. We have also seen Monkey Moon early in seasons with a new roster falter. Maybe they got that out of their system online. Maybe it's better in person. I don't know. Same thing can be said about K-Corp. K-Corp, in my choice and my belief, is that Farah is not overcoaching this time around. I think he is keeping things a little bit more simple, a little bit more free-flowing, less structured, and just saying, hey guys, I just need you to play the game. You are really good. Drawley, to me, is a top 3 player in the world. He's so good. In his second year, I think he's only going to get better. And I think that's kind of the difference maker. We had this conversation in chat earlier where I think, hey, Drawley is a much better upgrade to Rise than Zen replacing what was in Drawley. I agree with that. I do understand that. But new teams, new rosters, I think both have very high highs. This could be an absolute bloodbath. Again, I don't know. I genuinely do not know. Going down, I think Dignitas, although they've been Swiss merchants in the past, I've also seen some faltering. I think Twisted might be able to pull a quick one. This is one of my upsets that I'm going for, just for fun. Depending on what I see in these earlier rounds, this could completely change my opinion, but I'm going to go with the upset because it's fun to throw some in to change up the bracket, similar to certain circumstances up here. Furia, I have over Complexity because I do think they are the better team. Ultimates over Gen G. I could see Gen G playing a close series, but I think Ultimates will solidify and kind of lock in and close that out. And then I do have GK winning over Wildcard. We've seen the potential of GK. It's enough to beat anybody. I continue to believe in it, especially on LAN. And then in the low seeds, these are for elimination. Your two teams, APAC and SSA, going out early. Unless they play each other, the assumption is that one of them is going out, if not both. Keeps an OCE team alive. I would like to believe in Hunter and the crew. Will that be paired well with Raziers? I'm not sure what to believe in Chiefs, if I'm being honest. I don't know what we're going to get. Kind of excited about it. I'm next. These are for qualifications and eliminations again. I have GK playing upset it over NRG. I hate to do this, but it goes to game 5. One big problem happens, or it's a big counterattack. Maybe Energy gets a little overzealous and overcommit. Archie makes a save he shouldn't, and it goes the other way. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my butt. Maybe I'm baiting comments in the chat. I don't know. Maybe by you guys seeing Energy not make, how dare you, and that's what drives impressions to the video and increases viewership. I don't know. I'm just saying I need some upsets in some places. Unfortunately, Energy happens to be on the receiving end. It also goes around with my tier list of saying, hey man, if you make it into that top 8, but you're in the 5 through 8 seed, you're going through a gauntlet. This kind of sets that up. I do have Falcons winning a close series over Ultimates and Furio beating Twisted. This could go either way. This could also go either way. I would like to believe most times Falcons is going to beat Ultimates based upon what we've seen. And for Furia and Twisted, who knows? Could go both ways. On the other side, then, we do have Dignitas beating Secret, Wildcard beating Complexity. That is an upset. That is me just continuing to believe in the dream that is Wildcard fighting in the 2-2 round as always. And then I do have Gen G winning a close one over the Chiefs. That could be a 3-1 for Gen G. But I've also seen Gen G do some crazy things. Also, if I don't hear the round 5 song, what's the point of living? That's kind of where I'm at. Last but not least, and a little bit of manipulation on this one. Part of the reason why I have Energy losing this is so I don't have GK and Dignitas playing each other. I didn't want to see EU versus EU, so I manipulated it a little bit to give us some international competition. And I do think 9 out of 10 times Energy is the better team over Dig, and I do have Energy winning. I have Twisted beating Gen G. I think Twisted, albeit kind of an anomaly in my brain right now, I do think they have the talent and the skills to not fall to the Gen G kind of play style of demo. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. I just don't see it working out. And then I have Ultimates being very happy with their counterpart and beating Wildcard. That is what I have. That brings us into our main event, which gets a little crazy. And you guys are seeing this all at once. It is what it is. I think Vitality and Furia. Vitality to me is the better team. I could see Furia playing upset. Again, I'm going to make a blanket statement. Any team that I have in the top 8, I think is capable of winning the entire thing. Anybody on any given day has the chance to go and win the whole thing. I firmly believe that. I think any of these teams, if they're feeling it, can win. They can beat any of the other teams. That is the beauty of Rocket League, in my opinion. I think Rocket League as a game has gotten to the point where it comes down to mental fortitude, what your preparation is on the day. When you get into those best of 7s, I am telling you, and I firmly believe that they are all fully capable of winning, and it is impossible for me to predict unless I see how they play in previous days. I'm winging it here, guys. Vitality of over Furia, K-Corp Falcons, I could easily see this happening as well. And then maybe this goes to 7 and we see some Uno reverse stuff. I could also see something like this happening as well, which I would also be very happy with. Historically, we've seen teams from upper brackets dropping down, losing to teams that have momentum. The nice thing, to my knowledge, for the stream, Saturday's matches will be these two and the 1v1 tournament. And then this will be Sunday. And I think that's a very good thing if that does happen, because then the team that loses has a day to prepare. They know their upcoming matchup. These guys can also prepare and they know what's going on. But the benefit of playing in front of the crowd is a huge advantage. Will that be neutralized? We have to wait and see. So that's where we're at. That's what I've got. On the low side, I talk about the gauntlet of having to run through. Energy's got to go through Twisted, Falcons, Vitality, and then what would be K-Corp. That's just too much. I just don't see it. We haven't seen a dominant result like that since like season 7 when we saw Vitality do it against Cloud9, Energy, and G2. I just don't see it happening. Saturday and Sunday are crowd days. To my knowledge, again, Saturday's matches are the upper quarters and lower round 1. And then Sunday is these 5. That is my assumption. That way there's 5 series on both with the 1v1. I could be wrong. With that in mind, anything that I have a game 7, I think could go the other way. I think it is fully capable of being an inverse as well. And we see a different result. I could see GK definitely beating Ultimates. I wouldn't be surprised by that. I could see Energy and Vitality trading blows. I could see Furia beating Ult. I can see different results happening. I know a lot of people go, hey, it's kind of crazy to see 2 teams that are heavy favorites that are winning also making the grand final. But we have also seen that same thing happen with Energy making the grand final against Monkey Moon. They falter a little bit here and there, but they find a way to do it. It has happened before. With that being said, it's an uphill battle for some of these teams. And I genuinely don't know who's going to win. I also don't care who's going to win. I'm just here for good Rocket League. If we get some game 7, some banger moments, some memorable things that happen, iconic, where we go back and go, man, that play was insane. That was crazy. That's all I care about. So that is where we're at. That's what I have for my predictions. I am choosing to believe in the Vitality narrative. I wholeheartedly know I could be so very wrong, and I'm okay with it. That is fine. But that is what I have for my predictions. I'm expecting to be wrong. I know I'm going to be wrong, but if you want to see a more accurate prediction, stop by the stream, twitch.tv/Lawler. We'll be watch partying Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We will be doing stuff with drops. We are going to be having and making sure that people have the ability to earn their rewards. We're going to banter. We're going to have some people there as well. If you want to make sure you don't miss out on it, come hang out with us. But that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think. Drop follows, subscriptions, comments, all that stuff before. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.